Welcome back to the Crypto Power Hour, the #1 crypto show on Rumble, of course, powered by Solum Global. With your hosts, George Ballantyne and myself, Lance Miliaccio. We're the Crypto Bros, and this is your ultimate deep dive into everything crypto, blockchain, and decentralized finance. We don't care whether you're a seasoned investor or a newbie just stepping into the world of digital assets for the very first time. We're going to bring you expert insight, top interviews, exciting new projects, breaking news, and game-changing innovations shaping the future of digital assets. Because, you know, on this show in crypto, we trust George B., my crypto bro. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm okay. It was a long day yesterday dealing with the heat and AC. Well, the heat, actually, but got it working. Amazing, but, you know, took two different companies to come figure it out.
Yeah.
First company had 2 guys there. They spent like 5 hours. Couldn't figure it out. Feel kind of bad.
Yeah,
but
you guys just had that system installed. So talking about furnaces and air conditioning units,
yeah.
of course, not crypto, but we're just, you know, you going through life stuff. And I was a little down in the weather. I'm still feeling it a little today. You know, not all the way firing, tired.
On all
had
cylinders?
a stomach bug for 2 days. Well, I don't. The stomach bugs portion is gone, but with the weakness from not really
Keep
eating
getting
a whole
sick.
lot.
I don't know. You better go to the doctor, bro. See what's going on. Something's wrong.
Yeah, no doubt
I've
about
only
it.
been telling you
All
that for
right.
how long? I don't know.
Yeah, you know me. I'm stubborn. All right. So
I gotta suffer.
Yeah, well, let's jump in. Well, you didn't really suffer.
I'm
Pulled
suffering.
up every
You
single
have
day.
no idea I'm suffering.
Yeah, I pulled up every single day. Didn't really pull back. Kept going. 7 a.m. here on Wednesday, and here I am. And of course, we got our show at 11 a.m. today also.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about just for a minute gold and silver. We always like to thank our sponsors. Genesis Gold Group sponsors the show. Not only do they do gold and silver, they've also got Block Trust IRA. We'll be telling you about that later. But I love the gold and silver. Great diversification, great safety net. Of course, this is the 62.2 gram prepper bar, perforated, easily broken down in your choice of 3 different separate denominations. And it doesn't matter whether you're buying this baby for diversification, asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its very unique utility for barter and trade. And what I'm talking about, if you look at that bar, you can see 3 different sizes on there. There's a small, a medium, large. If your cash isn't working, if you've got an issue, your credit cards aren't accessible, it's a way to make a payment. You just snap off a small piece to make that payment. And of course, a great product that you can have and to hold. The government can't control it. Nobody can seize it. You can stick it in your sock drawer, your underwear drawer, your safety deposit box, your gun safe, you name it. And it's there in case you need it. Head over to thebigmigbar.com. That's right, thebigmigbar.com. All caps, Prepper, P-R-E-P-P-R. That's P-R-E-P-P-R. That'll get you 10% off on the silver and 5% off on the gold. Thebigmigbar.com. George makes it easy. Also, take a picture of that QR code and go there after the show. Now, I want to say this. Had you listened to us 2 years ago, you'd be thanking George and Lance right now. But none of this stuff, nothing I'm saying now, nothing on this show is financial advice. It's education material. Make sure you talk to your own financial advisor before you invest in gold, silver, or crypto. Thebigmigbar.com.
You know, silver right now is like almost $95. Gold is like $47.76, teetering there on and off. Some big money right there. I mean,
Yes,
silver more than doubled now in less than like 3 months, 4 months, not even doubled.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, people. Where are you at?
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. And I think you have to be looking at that. Whenever you've got markets that are in turmoil, of course, crypto market's in turmoil at the moment.
Doubled in value, Lance, in 3 months. It's just this one little piece I have in my hand. I have other things I can't show nobody because can't do it. It's locked up. But look at that, doubled in price.
Definitely worth paying attention. Of course, you always want to do that when it comes to assets. It's important to diversify, and crypto is definitely one of those. We always try to give you the information so you can talk to your own brokers or own advisors. But educating yourself is the most important thing. And there are some great tools out there to analyze the market. Great tools. And that's what we're looking at today. Let me back up here for just a second. We get a lot of emails, a lot of direct messages, people confused about how many exchanges there are. And they ask us, well, who's got the best fees? Who's got the fastest transactions? Who has the least amount of slippage? And, you know, that's an interesting question because it changes. And you do have to know. It doesn't matter whether it's Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, Uphold. You really do need something to compare those exchanges. And there is a tool that we just became aware of, and we thought, you know, we should share this with the audience. And let me emphasize, these guys don't sponsor the show. If they want to sponsor the show, they can contact us, info@thebigmig.com. but they do not sponsor the show. But I think it's worth talking about this product because it solves a very relevant day-to-day crypto question, which is which exchange gives me the best fees, or which exchange is the fastest, or which exchange has the least amount of slippage. And what I'm talking about is a tool called the Crypto Trade Analyzer. Now, it's a tool that mirrors how trades really happen. Of course, it considers the live order book depth, the fees, and the token discounts. It's going to compare real trading across exchanges, and it really goes beyond the headline prices. This analyzer is going to calculate, how liquidity and slippage affect real execution, because you've seen that happen. You place an order and it doesn't fill at the order you placed. Sometimes it's a little higher, sometimes a little lower. But the truth is, this is going to reveal the true cost behind the displayed prices. And it's going to, of course, because, the exchanges do that too. They will mark up the crypto, of course, to pick up a couple of cents here and there. And they do it all day long. So, of course, it makes a big difference. And it's going to affect your long-term profit. Now, for newbies, they may not be as concerned as they are. But for everybody else, they do get concerned about it. So the Crypto Trade Analyzer it provides these fair, standardized comparisons. So each exchange's average price, fees, and effective costs are shown side by side in the terminal. And that's for the easy comparison. Of course, it's real time, it's live updates. So the pricers and order books update automatically, which mirrors exactly what's happening in the market right now. And the analyzer is built for all types of traders. It's simple enough for a beginner, but serious enough for anybody that's a serious trader, somebody that's doing arbitrage, for analytical depth, for those who need it. So I always talk about, the best thing you can do is locate the most efficient price to trade, exchanges. But that's easier said than done, right? Because, of course, nobody really knows what the fees are going to be. Even I'm surprised sometimes that a fee seems lower than I expected or higher than I expected. And even though the prices may seem similar on the different exchanges, that fees, liquidity, and slippage are going to significantly, change the final trading costs. So this tool, Crypto Trade Analyzer, it's going to eliminate that guesswork for you. It's going to simulate actual trades, executions across all these exchanges in real time. And rather than just displaying the listed prices, it's going to mimic exactly what happens when you execute an actual trade. And it's going to tell you before you pull the trigger what it's going to look like. Now, for me, this is a big deal, in my opinion. I think basically you're looking at something that it's analyzing, of course, that order book depth. It's going to apply the trading fees, token discounts. It's going to calculate the total cost in both the native and USD terms, because maybe you're converting. Maybe you can only pay in USDT. So when you convert, there's also a cost. So this baby will, of course, compare Bitcoin, USDT execution costs across all exchanges when you get ready to do that. And George had thrown that up on the screen, and you saw how it does it. It just breaks it down blow by blow. And I think the big question is for everybody, do I really need a tool like this? Who uses this tool? And, George, I think that's important to kind of go through that maybe and decide, maybe somebody that's just buying one token one time, you might not need it. But this is for somebody that's planning on dollar cost averaging every month, that's planning on investing in crypto and the ups and downs, or maybe arbitrage, or somebody really serious.
All right, Lance. Who should use this tool? Anybody that wants to buy crypto or sell crypto. That's who should use it. Anybody. It's good for the beginners. They can learn how to trade, cost work, and look at what the price is showing on that exchange. They can look beyond that with this tool. That's how easy it is for beginners, and it'll teach the beginners a lot. And it'll make you a seasoned crypto trader or buyer, however you want to call it, because you're going to start learning like what's behind just that price. So I'm just going to say something real quick. I'm just going to go. So I looked. It was Coinbase, right? Coinbase had Bitcoin at 89,000. Now I went to CoinGecko. They had it for 88,000. That's like slippage right there. I always say Coinbase uses that to get somebody, but this is why this tool is a great tool to use. If you just want to strictly use, say Coinbase, well, this is a great tool to use. It's great for anyone, but it's great for that. Listen, someone that, let's go beyond beginners. Let's go to frequent traders. There, you can look to minimize your costs across hundreds of trades. If a beginner's just doing like a couple trades here and there learning, they're going to learn, what's behind that one price that's on the screen. Frequent traders, you're going to save some money across all your trades you're doing. And you like, listen, even arbitrage traders, they're looking for price discrepancies, liquidity differences, anything in between each exchange. What's going to save them money? High volume traders, look, high volume. Think about the money you're going to save with those big volumes. You're going to execute your price like off the lowest you can find it on whatever exchange you're going to use, where this crypto analyzer is going to find it for you. So just anyone, you can compare exchanges before opening an account or moving funds. However, though, crypto analyzer is going to do great for you. So how does a crypto analyzer work? This is the $1 million question. Well, you want me to give you in simpler terms, people? I'll do it in simpler terms. It's like a calculator, a super smart calculator for crypto traders. And it's going to show you the true cost of a trade across different exchanges. It's going to reveal to you any hidden fees, price impacts, like slippage, anything beyond the advertised price. It's going to help you find the cheapest price to buy or sell. It compares, look, live market data, fees, and liquidity. It's going to give you a clear side-by-side view of real profit or loss, depending. Sometimes we lose too. Of market trading, more transparent and efficient. Can't go wrong with that. Now, so at the high level, you're going to look, it's just going to involve like 4 main steps. I'm going to take you through them. First one is collecting live market data. What does this do? The analyzer is going to tap into each exchange's order book to get live price feeds for the selected trading pair. Now, this is going to help ensure that calculations are always based on the current market conditions. It's going to, listen, think of it, if you look at it like a trading bot. Trading bot's going to, you're training your AI bot. So this crypto analyzer, it's already going to analyze everything for you. It's going to cut look, time is money, correct? Look how much time it's going to take away, or afford you. It's going to give you more time to do whatever you need because it's going to do all the hard work for you and faster and simpler. Second one is simulating an order execution. So what is that? Rather than simply...
George, let me say one thing to the audience. This does mean that you're going to have wallets on all these exchanges. But I can tell you that George and I have to have multiple wallets. It just so happens that it's like that. So yes, if you're going to go for the best price, you might need 4 or 5 different wallets. And of course, that's more tracking. Go ahead.
Well, you can connect you connect other wallets to each exchange. You don't have to have their wallet, Lance. So you know.
But if you're going to be on exchanges doing transactions, you'd have to have an account on that exchange.
Well, yeah.
I guess I should use the term not wallet. I should use the term exchange. You'd have to be signed up at multiple exchanges. Some people, George likes Coinbase. Maybe I like Uphold. But the point is, for this to work effectively, you would need to have your wallet connected to multiple exchanges. Go ahead, George.
I don't like Coinbase.
No, I know, but you like what you like. You like which one? Which one do you like?
I mean, Kraken's good.
Kraken, okay.
They're a good one. I mean, I did like Coinbase, but some of the things I
thought you did. I did. You said you like Coinbase.
I do like them in a sense for certain things, but I'm broadening my horizons, Lance.
Gotcha. All right.
Some things that we recently trades and stuff I did, I just didn't like the way they operate. Like they wanted to wait 20 days. They want to hold my money for 20 days before I can do some things.
You're
like,
right.
Come on.
Right. It's a good point.
I've been with you how long? You ready? All my information. Get out of here with that.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think when you do KYC, those delays should be non-existent, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So, second one is simulating an order execution. So rather than listen, instead of you just sitting down, simply you're checking the best bid and best ask, the crypto analyzer is going to explore the order book level by level. It's going to figure out for you what would happen if someone tried to buy or sell that amount right now. So look at a volume, weighted average price, which is VWAP, VWAP. That's volume weighted average price. It's going to show you how much trading activity impacts costs. It's going to reveal the difference between the quoted price and actual execution price. And look, definitely big for sizable orders too. I mean, God, you're going to save money. Third one is applying fees and discounts. Every exchange applies its own maker-taker fees. Each one will have different, gas levels, gas prices. Some depending on what network too, they're going to charge you. Like something you can buy on Coinbase network, it's not going to charge you anything. But then if you go on Ethereum network, they're going to charge you. Everything varies, but not crypto analyzer. They're going to find out for you. It's going to count the levels that determine fee rates that are based on trading volume and token discounts. It will automatically apply these parameters to each calculation, like I said, super calculator in the beginning, so that the output reflects the true cost of execution after fees. Now, these results include both the raw execution price and the final price after deductions. Before and after. Super calculator, I think I'm going to come up with a better name. I'm going to figure out a better name for that. I don't like super calculator. Super trader helper or something.
Everybody's trying to
like hamburger helper?
There's anybody that didn't. Yeah, exactly.
Crypto helper.
But it's funny. Even this product, everybody's always done that. You've made a transaction. You purchased XRP or Solana, and you've looked and thought, man, I didn't get as many as I thought. Now, that's a big deal. It adds up over time. Now, George and I are normally dollar cost averaging because, of course, market's in a downturn. We'll try to wait to see where the bottom is. We're not going to try to buy or sell anything right at the moment. And then we'll just buy some more, hopefully at the bottom, and we'll wait because I think the long-term outlook is what you really have to pay attention to. But a tool like this is, gosh, George, it's so helpful. We looked around. We've talked about it many times about dealing with these exchanges and not really understanding the fee structures. You put some money over, you put over $100, let's say, and you end up having 97, but you needed the 100. So you should have sent over 103 or 104 because you were getting ready to make a payment somewhere. And that's kind of where it gets complicated, right?
It does. You know what? Let me give you another example because I like that, Lance. That was a good example. Think of it like this. Headline price, right? Looks cheap on an exchange. I don't know, $100, right? Then you got the hidden costs. Now these could be fees, slippage. So exchange A looks cheap, $100, right? It's exchange A. Exchange B might have a slightly higher headline price, let's say $101, right? But much lower fees and better liquidity, which means more buyers and sellers. And this is going to make the final cost $150. What's the analyzer going to do? It's going to show you both the scenarios instantly. So you see exchange B is actually better for your specific trade, even if the initial price looks worse. I mean, think about that. A lot of people just see, the $100. That's it. I'm buying $100. I'm making out. This one wants a $1 more, but in reality, the one with the $101, you're better off.
Yeah, this will actually break that down for you, which we would have killed to have this a year ago. I mean, I don't know how, to be honest, guys, I told George before the show, I had never heard of this product. Now, it just goes to show that even, George and myself, that we're constantly looking. I never heard of this product. I asked George if he had. He said he just heard of it recently. So he was even ahead of where I was at. But that's the point, right? That's why you're here on this show. We want to give you the tool, none of the education. We want to tell you about tools that are available because a lot of them will make a big difference. And I think what we're going to do on the next show, just a heads up, I think we might go ahead and cover some of the platforms that analyze crypto. To kind of tell you, what's moving fast, what's being dumped. There's a bunch of different products like that. And I think we're going to cover some of them because I think it would be helpful. Don't you think, George, that'd be something maybe?
It does. But this tool, it is education because let's say for the beginner, it's teaching them about all the fees and stuff that can happen. So tools are education for people. So our last one is converting and comparing results. So all outputs they're all converted into the standard format, which is going to show you the average execution price, fees, which can be in native asset and USD, but slippage and the effective price after fees. Now, exchanges are going to be ranked from the most to the least cost efficient. And will give you live updates reflecting new market data in real time. Now, I know we covered, Lance, on other episodes of what are price, fees, and slippage, but,
I always think it's good to rehash that. For me, even sometimes, because you hear a say market price, and market price is the price you see, but that's not necessarily where your trade's going to execute. Because a very small transaction, let's say you're buying $100 worth of XRP, $100 worth of XRP would most likely complete right away at the best available price. But if you were gonna make a substantial trade, let's say you were gonna buy $500,000 worth of XRP, that a lot of times that requires working through a bunch of several price tiers. So it's going to move the prices because maybe you can only buy $100,000 worth at a certain price, and then it might push the price up because now you're moving the market a little bit because you're buying what might be considered a whale transaction. So when you're doing that, it definitely is something that you want to have an analyzer on hand because you don't just want to take a chance because you might, in this particular case, you might execute part of the transaction on one exchange and realize if you bought on the other exchange, moving it into the same wallet, you could execute at a better tier price than what the first exchange was offering you because you bought what was out there that was available in the market at that point. And it's just like the fees. Trading fees are, anomalous in a way. I mean, they do tell you what they are, but they're really hard to calculate, especially on the fly. If, let's say, some news came out that you thought was incredibly good news about XRP, but you caught it right when it came out, you thought, oh my God, I better go buy some XRP before the market reacts. And you wanted to buy some XRP, each one of those trades is going to incur costs. It would be great to know in advance if you were thinking about doing this, what's going to make that, what fees there are, like the maker fee, which is charged whenever you're adding any kind of liquidity, or the taker fee charged when removing liquidity. So because this tool is going to simulate immediate execution, it's going to assume the taker behavioral by default. And it's also going to consider individual preferences. Like there's fee tiers, right? That may depend on trading volume or account level. If you've got a bigger account, you might get a discount. Or if you're a more active trader, you might have discounts built in your account because they're trying to earn your business. A lot of times there's token-based discounts. Like if you're paying fees with BNB or Binance, some tokens give you a discount because you use that token on that platform. And then there's also promotional rates or custom rates that are available sometimes. So this is going to guarantee that those figures all kind of are clear and you don't go, oh my gosh, I thought there was a token discount and there isn't. And you're going to know it. Now, slippage, I wanted to do it earlier, but I felt with the way we did this is probably better. That's what, so slippage, let me give you the definition, is what's going to happen when the execution price differs from what was initially seen. Now, sometimes this has happened to me. You're getting ready to execute a trade and the price changes. Now, the price can move, while the order is processing, especially if it's a sizable trades that fill across different price levels in the order book. So this can move really rapidly. Now it can go down, but it often will go up on you, right? When you're getting ready to submit the trade. I always go, God, my timing wasn't good. But it's really, if you're buying one Bitcoin and it's quoted, say, at 100 or 110,000, it might fill at an average of 110,050 if the order consumes higher ask levels. So you're going to end up paying more. That analyzer is going to quantify the cost impact if there's limited liquidity or maybe book movement. And it's essentially what a trader gives up when buying or selling. And then you got to think about the effective price. So that's usually what happens, what the user actually pays for a trade. And this is after accounting for market conditions, fees, and the slippage. So that's the comprehensive figure. So that's performance. You're going to see it as a clear number. You're not going to be confused at that, of course. And that's going to be listed in the local currency alongside USDC. So that way your users can see this. So you're going to know exactly what the effective total price is by using this tool. So this tool is really easy to use. It's not very difficult at all. So it's going to break down every trade. It's going to show you exactly how the numbers work. It's going to walk you through everything. So if you choose a trading pair and order direction, so trading pair, let's say you're going to buy Binance, you're going to buy Bitcoin with USD. So you're going to be able to do that. Look at it and say, you're going to start by selecting that desired trading pair and specifying the order side, buy or sell. So let's talk about buying. So the tool automatically is going to fetch the live data from supported exchanges for that pair. So you're going to pick the exchanges you want to have them look at. You have a choice on this tool to select which exchanges you want to pay attention to. And then it's going to fetch that live data for that pair. So it doesn't matter whether you're going to sell Bitcoin into USD or you're going to buy Bitcoin with USD or USDC, USDT. That's how your pair works. And once that pair is chosen, that analyzer is going to begin monitoring the corresponding order books in real time. So if this is a trade you're thinking about executing, let's say you think Donald Trump's going to come out with some news and it's going to be positive for Bitcoin, but you're kind of tentative, you could start in the morning early before the news comes out and you could kind of watch the markets. And it could be already ready to go so that when you get ready, you could just have that up on your second monitor and be ready to execute. So you can enter the trade size in advance. Of course, how much of a trade do you want? You can either do it in a base asset. You can say I want 2 Bitcoin, or the quote asset, USDT as an example. So that allows users to simulate the trades the same way they would on an exchange. You can do it before you execute, and you fill out the information. It kind of tells you what you're going to spend, but this is going to break it down and tell you where your money is getting spent. So you can also, like I said, select the exchanges to compare, which is important because they're not going to force you to look at Binance if you don't like Binance, you don't like Coinbase. You'll pick the ones you want to use. And I haven't used this tool, but from what I saw online, it looks to me like they've got just about every exchange covered. And then you can look, have all your account preferences set. You can decide, you can adjust user tier, token-based discounts, custom fees. And of course, those preferences are going to directly affect, because your account with Binance might have some kind of a discount. You're going to want to go in there and customize, knowing that you're a gold tier member at Binance, let's say, and you get an additional discount. You have to have that calculated in there. So it doesn't automatically do that. So you've got to go in there and set that. So then you can view the results. And at the end of the day, hopefully you've made a good decision. But there are some limitations on this. And I think it's important for you guys to know. So it's a pretty solid idea what trades will cost. So it's never perfect. Okay. It may not be spot on to the 10th of a cent, because markets are moving extremely fast. So sometimes the actual results are not going to perfectly match, but it will get you a prediction that's relatively close. So just keep that in mind, like every exchange warns you. And if you really want to use this tool effectively, I pulled up something somebody had written up about it. You want to use realistic order sizes. Large simulated orders are going to produce a big slippage. So be realistic about what you implement in it. Keep the exchange preferences updated, knowing that those might be modified in your own exchange, that you've hit a new level. You want to monitor volatile markets carefully. During high volatility, you know what that does. Things are moving so rapidly that every tool struggles. And compare multiple pairs. You might, the execution prices are going to be different. It might not be the same for Bitcoin USDT as it is for Ethereum BUSD or smaller altcoin pairs. There's a metric on there called the save versus. Small savings can compound significantly over time. So that save versus might tell you that if you're going to be dollar cost averaging over the next 10 years, that you might make a whole hell of a lot more money if you really paid attention to your fee structure. Because a lot of times you spend the fees, you're like, hey, look, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not going to sell for 10 years. But those are the things you have to think about. And I think it's important. So this is a great tool, the Crypto Trade Analyzer. I recommend you go out and take a look at it. If you are going to be getting involved with crypto and you think you're going to be investing, over time, or you're going to be dealing with, crypto on a regular basis, whether you're day trading crypto or whether you're long-term buy and hodl, So it's a great tool. I think it's something well worth looking at. George.
Yeah, listen, it's like I said, when we talked about it from the beginning, this analyzer tool is good for the beginner. It's good for the intermediate guy, and it's good for the expert, because listen, saving money is good for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Why spend $105 when you can spend $102 and save $3? So let's say you're buying, I don't know, $1,000 worth of stuff. If you save $3 on each dollar, that's a lot of money you're going to save right there. All with using this trade analyzer tool. And like Lance is talking about, you can set it. There's a lot of preferences in the settings. You could set it to, you want to use these exchanges. You can exclude these exchanges. There's different ways to set it up.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
no doubt.
It's gonna bring everything into view for you. It's gonna make you execute faster. Going to save you on a lot of time, and time is money, people, especially with crypto. You don't act fast.
We've got to take a short break here on the Crypto Power Hour. And when we come back, of course, you'll be here with George Ballantine, myself, Lance Migliaccio. In Crypto We Trust. We got a lot of top news. New York Stock Exchange making some big changes. Seems like it's overdue, but it doesn't surprise me. George and I were laughing when we saw this. So you're going to want to hear this story. Of course, take the live link during the break. Share it far and wide. Tell your friends and family if you want to learn about crypto. This is the hot spot to do so. The #1 crypto show on Rumble. There's a reason for it. Love you guys. And we'll be right back.
Don't go nowhere.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these K9 units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.
All right, welcome back to the Crypto Power Hour, powered by Solum Global. Here we host Lance Migliaccio, George Valentine, Crypto Mafia in the chat, Crypto Army. You know, we haven't told anybody, but Solum Global right now is in Davos. That's right. They're over there. Kurt's going to be doing some speeches and some talking, and hopefully making a lot of connections over there. I believe Sterling is there, but that's right. Yeah. Solum Global is at Davos right now making big moves. Big. So check them out. Solum.global. Check out the company. All about crypto, healthcare, AI wallet, and a lot more going on. A lot with gold and big things. But let me give a shout out to our sponsor, because Lance and myself, we have the perfect solution for the people who can't watch their crypto 24/7. And that's why I'm here to tell you about BlockTrustIRA.com. They're bringing access to cryptocurrency wealth to everyday people. Their exclusive Animus AI trading platform works 24/7, analyzing market data and executing advanced crypto strategies that go far beyond buy and hold. This sophisticated technology, once reserved only for Wall Street insiders, now it's available to you. And it's no surprise this system was named #1 crypto technology platform by Bitcoin Magazine out of more than 1,500 global competitors. So, whether you're a teacher, truck driver, small business owner, or retiree watching inflation eat away at your savings, Block Trust IRA Advanced Animus AI gives you everyday Americans the same advantages as a financial elite. And clients are already seeing over 250% returns on their investments. All with military-grade security and up to $200 million in insurance. Your wealth is fully protected. So don't wait. No. Visit BigMigCrypto.com today and see how you can join this financial revolution. It's finally giving everyday Americans access to a crypto opportunity of a lifetime. Once again, visit BigMigCrypto.com today, and you can get up to $2,500 of free crypto. Now, I have the QR code up here on the screen. Save it to your photo files. Take a screenshot, and it'll take you right there. But not right now, because we got some more stuff to handle for you guys. Big things going on. So this may come as a shocker to some, but guess what? The New York Stock Exchange, and they say they're proud. They should be proud because they're slow on the get-go on this one. They announced the development of a platform for trading and on-chain settlement of tokenized securities. And I didn't know about this one. Lance told me that. I was like, what? No. He's like, yeah. I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, look it up. And of course I did. Well, their new digital platform will enable tokenized trading experiences, including, get this, 24/7 operations, which will equate to instant settlement, order size, and dollar amounts, and stablecoin-based funding. Now, its design combines the New York Stock Exchange cutting-edge pillar matching engine with the blockchain-based post-trade systems. Now, when they say the New York Stock Exchange cutting-edge pillar matching engine, well, I can tell you about that engine because they have primo internet service. Because they need to have that updated faster than people can get it on their computers. So it has to be primo. As far as what's the engine behind it, I don't know. I'm not familiar with, but I know with that type of internet service, it's crazy. You know what, Lance? And on a little side note here.
Yes, sir.
And Trump brought this up yesterday. He was talking about, he's like, I can't believe New York is letting Dallas get ahead because they're building a stock exchange over there. Because they're trying to put New York, make them this behind them, second tier, because people are moving out of the city, especially with Mandami. Listen, anything's possible. JP Morgan's got most of his people over there. They're not even in the city, I think, anymore that much. That's how much Texas is moving,
right. I think it's
up.
an opportunity that I'm surprised that, but again, they voted Mandami in, whether they voted him legitimately or otherwise. Huge mistake. I think more and more, groups are going to be moving out. We've heard some horrible stories about what his plans are with real estate. He's been pretty vocal. We've seen some of the staff he's hired, which I'd have to put the reasoning behind it. And I think it's going to impact the financial markets tremendously. I mean, I'd be honest. If you were looking for a spot to do business, George, you're running $1 billion entity. Would you move it to New York as CEO?
Oh, just for the taxes alone, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it for the taxes, for security of the company and any employees. No.
And I think it's important for people to recognize that's what's happening. People are making a lot more decisions politically now. I'm shocked, to be honest with you, that Mandami got in. But the New York I grew up with that never would have happened. But here we are. And I think for anybody that's in the financial markets, I think more and more of them are going to move out of there. They don't want to be there. It's kind of like what happened to Hong Kong. When the Chinese took over, a lot of institutions moved out. And I don't think the UK is all that favorable an environment with the immigration policies there.
So I have a
Singapore seems to be one of the real hotspots. Is gaining a lot of traction.
I have a scenario for you, hypothetical here. Hear me out, and then respond, please. Mm-hmm. Now, all this new digital platform on the New York Stock Exchange. Now, it's subject to regulatory approvals, right? Mm-hmm. Now, until they get these regulatory approvals, now these approvals may be slowed down and take a lot of time, allowing maybe Dallas to get ahead of the game. Because let's not forget what they did to Trump Media Group, True Social, how they just drug them through the trenches. And not only them and other businesses and entities are doing things, but just think about it. Don't be surprised because listen, everything in Texas, they go big, and why not? Why not give it to the red state and then give it to fail in New York? You think that's a scenario? Is that a conspiracy theory, Lance?
No, I think it's a legitimate potential issue. Let's face it. First of all, anybody that didn't see this coming, anybody that didn't see uh, 24/7, 365 U.S. trading on equities, and anybody thinks it's not going to happen to the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, what they're all concerned about, what the big banks are concerned about, what the trading houses are concerned about, is that institutional money is moving in rapidly into crypto. Even this current downturn in crypto, because you've seen the markets, everything's down. Average small sellers with low liquidity are selling, but the big institutions are buying. And what I believe the stock exchanges are worried about is, of course, uh, people are going to move their equity out of their stock market and they're going to move it into cryptos. Because, of course, look at some of the fees you can make on staking crypto. They exceed any of the dividend checks that are coming out of any of the big equities. So why wouldn't somebody think about buying a crypto that they trust for the long term and then staking it? If you can get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% for staking, then why wouldn't you want to do that versus buying a stock? And of course, the stock market, there's been a lot of accusations of fraud and manipulation. GameStop is one of the ones that's been discussed. I think people are worried, but this is going to allow fractional share trading, which again doesn't surprise me. And they're going to offer immediate settlement via tokenized capital. So we've talked about tokenized assets on this show many times and where the market's really going, that everything's going to end up getting tokenized. Real estate, stocks, other assets, commodities, they're going to get tokenized, maybe even gold in the ground. Solem Global is working on, through their new company, Arias, tokenizing gold bullion in the ground, which is really smart and a great opportunity for the mining companies to get real monetization on in the ground assets so they can get it out of the ground. And that's on proven assets, of course. But I could see copper, zinc, lead, lots of different institutional money is looking at what's going to happen, putting all that on the blockchain. So to me, if the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 don't step up, they might as well just step out of the way, George. So I think they're in a rock and a hard place situation.
Well, what might make him a little more to my conspiracy theory here is their parent company, their Ackerman. I think they need to change that because their Ackerman, it's called their parent company, New York Stock Exchange, is ICE. That's right, not the ICE you're thinking about, though. Yeah, it's the Intercontinental Exchange, and they propelled the markets from analog to digital, right? And they're the ones that are going to help take this into this blockchain technology and into the next realm of trading with crypto and everything. Well, it wouldn't surprise me, but their strategy is to operate this on-chain market infrastructure for trading, settlement, custody, and capital formation in this new era of global finance. Now, Lance,
I'm looking down at the Bella Supercat. The Bella Supercat has entered the studio.
Now, speaking of global finance, this next one is big because not only has Trump said it, but you got to say, are the dominoes falling towards a new financial system? I like to think so. I know Lance likes to think so. Does Ursula von der Leyen think so?
It's Ursula von der Leyen.
Von der Leyen, whatever.
Yeah.
She goes.
If that's not a globalist name, I don't know what is.
So she's one of three, and she's the first. She goes, 1971 broke the global monetary system when USD left gold, and now the world must reduce dependence on foreign currency. What does that mean? Translation? Okay, I'll translate. The legacy rails had a 50-year run, and the reset clock is a ticking. And tick, it's ticking all right. Who's number two? Very President Trump. He mirrored the same thing last month. He's been talking about it. He just said the current banking system is on a life support, and many Americans are unaware. Well, I don't know if many Americans are unaware because a lot of us are aware. Many people just refuse to believe it. And who's the third, Lance? This is your favorite. I know you love this company, BlackRock. Larry Fink.
I do not like Larry Fink.
He says capitalism is losing public trust and must evolve. What does this mean? Endless money printing time and old rails are going to die out soon. And he says Ripple is now emerging out to be the global rails of the new financial system. What? Ripple? Who? XRP? Lance, you've been saying this for how long, Lance?
I've said all along that the old banking system, SWIFT and the rest of it, it's going to be transitioned and the XRP ledger will be what it will become. A lot of people aren't sure of it. And you can see, I still think that XRP is tremendously undervalued at where it's at. Not financial advice, but my
You would think
own
it would go
opinion.
up, right? After
Well,
these next few
you gotta look
clips,
at the crypto
you got to think
licenses.
about it, right?
You know, you got to look at the crypto laws. You got OCC in the US, FCA in the UK, MAS in Singapore, and VARA, and which is VARA, and DIFC in Dubai. And like I said, tokenized gold is coming onto the ledger. It's going to be on the XRP ledger. Solum Global is one of them that's talking about tokenizing gold assets, which is going to change everything because these gold mining companies are going to be able to claim more return on their capital. They used to have to monetize their gold when they were looking for infrastructure monies to build out a mine. They were monetizing the gold in the ground at $300 an ounce. Now you're talking about monetizing gold at 80 or 90% of its actual street value. Changes everything. It's a monster number. Let's play the clip from Ursula von der Leyen, globalist.
Von der Leyen,
yeah.
And the decision to delink the US dollar from gold. In an instant, the foundations of the Bretton Woods system and the entire global economic order set up after the war effectively collapsed. But it also had two major effects. It inadvertently created the conditions for what would become a truly global order. And it provided a sharp lesson for Europe and on the need to strengthen its economic and political power. It was a warning to reduce our dependencies, in this case, on a foreign currency. The world may be very different today, without any question, but I believe the lesson is very much the same. That geopolitical shocks can and must serve as an opportunity for Europe. And in my view, the seismic change we are going through today is an opportunity, in fact, a necessity, to build a new form of Europe.
Yep.
Even listening to her makes me globally nauseous. But at the end of the day, that is what the WEF's all about. But I also feel like there's always an undertone. The U.S. made that move. I don't know that I agreed from us disconnecting from the gold markets, but she alleges that was an epiphany moment that had dramatic impact. We've always thought that NATO was an economic based program to benefit NATO more than to benefit the U.S., just like the UN. So I guess you guys can take it for that. For the crypto people out there, you know what I'm talking about. I like decentralized finance. I'm not looking for globalist control, which is what they're concerned about. That's why you're seeing the New York Stock Exchange and you're seeing the big money institutions get involved because they don't want to get left behind. I've often talked about where the markets are going, that if you don't get ahead of the curve, you are going to be Neanderthal man before you know it. Brad Garlinghouse returns to Davos with XRP in a stronger position than ever. Of course, the SEC lawsuit is over with. Last time he warned about regulation. This time he's bringing the receipts. He's talking about ETFs, treasuries, real world assets, real infrastructure, real adoption, and real seats at the crypto table. Let's play the clip.
Davos is the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Brad, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much for being here. I want to get your take on the impact of this ETF approval. What have you seen?
Well, I think it's a very big deal, in large part because I think it's further validation from institutions and even in this case, a government entity where, the crypto has been on kind of the outskirts, I think, and increasingly you're seeing that come into the mainstream. And so I think it's a validation. I think it's further indication of more institutions coming into the crypto asset market.
And Ripple enables global financial institutions. Take us through that. How?
So Ripple at its core, we sell blockchain technologies and solutions to enterprises. We focus primarily on financial institutions. We started with a payments solution to settle cross-border settlement for banks, for PSPs. Typically, cross-border payments have been slow. They've been expensive. Using these technologies, we can dramatically reduce the cost and increase the speed and efficiency. And
now you're seeing financial services institutions try to get their own strategy with regard to blockchain underway. How has that changed the dynamic for Ripple?
Well, I think anytime you have a new technology, it's nascent. And although crypto has kind of been around for 10 or almost 12 years, let's say, it's still new. And I think you have a lot of large organizations, even JP Morgan, despite Jamie Dimon's comments about how he thinks about crypto, they're investing heavily in blockchain technologies. Now, that being said, I think in order for blockchain to thrive and for the largest population to benefit from these technologies, you can't have insular closed networks. Like the whole point, it's kind of like the internet. The internet opened up networks. You had AOL and CompuServe and Prodigy. Along comes the internet to create interoperability. Crypto does that and can do that across many banks and to provide dramatic improvements to how we think about money movement and really any transaction.
And with any new technology, I question whether or not those writing the laws around the regulation framework really understand the technology. Now, recently, you called the Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler a, quote, political liability to the United States. You said he's acting in the interests of citizenry or the long-term growth of the economy, that he's not acting on behalf of customers and users. Tell us more.
Well, look, I think Gary Gensler has prioritized hiring more lawyers to litigate the industry. And this is often described as, or kind of regulation through enforcement. If we just took the time to codify rules of the road, most of the industry in crypto wants to follow the rules of the road. Countries around the world have leaned in. Even the European Union, 27 countries in the European Union have come together to create a construct for how crypto should be regulated. In the United States, we haven't done this work. I jokingly suggested maybe what we should just do is type into ChatGPT, how should the U.S. That's more than the U.S. SEC has done. And it's frustrating. And I think even, I guess, yesterday there was a court hearing between Coinbase and the SEC. And the judicial system continues to slap down the SEC because they're overreaching. They're overstepping what the laws say. It's the reason why they lost the case against Ripple. It's the reason why they lost the case against Grayscale. It's the reason why they were dragged kicking and screaming to have an ETF. Thus, as I was quoted, I think Gary Gensler hasn't been acting. He's been acting on almost his own agenda, not the people's agenda in the United States. I wish I had a clear answer to that. I think these are technologies that are here to stay. And the ETF approval is, I think, further indication of that. It's just frustrating that we're spending so much time in the judicial process to get clarity when we could do that, as many other countries like Japan, the UK, the UAE, Switzerland, here in Switzerland. These are not small economies. They're doing the work to provide that clarity. And in the U.S., I think it's become a political agenda, not a policy agenda.
From someone who's studied this as many years as you have, what would be the proper framework on a regulatory environment that needs to be in place?
Well, I think the number one thing I think about is not about regulating the technology. It's about regulating the outcomes and the activity. Just because we have new technologies, we should still care about things like KYC, know your customer. We should still care about anti-money laundering, AML. Those are principles that are, I think, sacrosanct. I think the U.S. SEC has been trying to expand their remit to say, well, this new market, a $1.7 trillion market of crypto assets, is going to be under the remit of the SEC in the United States. The law does not support that. The CFTC is a much more natural regulator. And, people will say, well, what about FTX? And, ironically, Gary Gensler was meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried repeatedly. FTX isn't about a crypto fraud. FTX is about a fraud. It happens to have been crypto, and it definitely was a self-inflicted wound for the industry. But one of the reasons I'm excited for what is ahead in 2024 is the headwinds of these self-inflicted wounds have largely abated.
Are you clear on who the regulators are? Because it seems like there are still questions, SEC, CFTC, or maybe everybody.
Well, in the U.S., there's still confusion, for sure. Outside of the U.S., and the reason why Ripple has continued to grow very quickly outside the U.S., 95% of our customers are non-U.S. financial institutions. 75% of our hiring last year was outside the United States because of this. But yet, if you go back to the earliest days of the internet, the U.S. did the work and provided clarity of how the internet would be regulated. And the internet today is, on a geopolitical basis, has benefited the United States more than any other country.
It's a great point. I want to get your take on what the CEO of Circle said. He says he sees a strong chance that the U.S. passes laws for stablecoin issues this year. Brad, tell us about the stablecoin and the potential looming regulation there.
So I think the regulation there is appropriate. I think it is the priority on Capitol Hill. I've spent a bunch of time in Washington, D.C. The U.S. Treasury, stablecoins, 95+% of the market of stablecoins is the U.S. dollar stablecoin. You have Tether, you have USDC. And I think the U.S. Treasury wants to see that those laws passed, and I think they will be pushing Congress to act. And I think that's good. That's forward progress. There are new dynamics of what stablecoins mean to financial kind of settlement. And so I think the CEO, Jeremy Allaire of Circle, is correct that that'll probably happen the first half of this year.
Piece in the Journal this morning on how China's crypto traders are evading the rules there. They write this: the success of the country's crypto traders in evading the rules shows how difficult it will be for regulators across the world, including the United States, to actually police this industry. Your reaction?
I think there are elements of that with any new technology. There's obviously the Great Firewall of China is something that has people have sought to circumvent, evade within China for probably a decade or two. I think, again, if you think about the activities that these technologies enable, KYC still matters, AML still matters, and ultimately today, there are the off ramps through typically exchanges like Coinbase that are very good actors, where I think you are able to enforce these kinds of regulations. And that's part of the self-inflicted wound of a settlement with Binance, the largest exchange in the world, with the U.S. government, I think a few months ago.
Well, that settlement you just referred to, congratulations to you and to Grayscale. What does this mean for you in terms of new business opportunities now that that's behind?
Look, Ripple really thrived under the scrutiny of the SEC, but outside the United States. My hope is that now that there is at least clarity for Ripple that XRP is not a security, that opens up the U.S. market a little bit. The challenge, of course, is you still have U.S. regulators who are pretty hostile, right? The SEC continues their litigation, enforcement through litigation, and even the OCC has been pretty negative about crypto. My view is this is a technology, this is an asset class that is here to stay. We need to embrace it and understand that. And I think ultimately the U.S. typically gets it right. It just has taken a little while.
So what's the pushback for Jamie Dimon, who was on the program last week saying, look who's using crypto, terrorists, look who's using sex traffickers?
My reaction to that is terrorists and sex traffickers use cash. If you look on a percentage basis, I'm not trying to say that any new technology, bad actors can use any new tool. Bad actors will use AI. Bad actors will use crypto. I think there are a lot of very good actors in crypto who are doing the right thing. Ripple only works with regulated financial institutions. You can't have anonymous transactions using Ripple's technology. So, some of those things I think are good political talking points. They're not reality.
Yeah, well said. Brad, great to have you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brad.
Well, I think that's a great clip. Feel free, as always, to take the short form and the long form from our show, share it far and wide. If you're not paying attention to Ripple, then you might be making a major mistake. Brad Garlinghouse, extremely confident. We're going to try to get him on the show. So if anybody knows Brad, tell him you should come on the Crypto Power Hour, the #1 crypto show. And we'd love to have him on. We're a big fan of what he's doing and what he's working on. Again, not financial advice. We own XRP, so we're not trying to pump you to buy XRP. We're just telling you, talk to your financial advisor. Might be a real consideration for the future. The ISO 20022 tokens, I've said it over and over again, those are really going to be all part of the new financial system. So look those up and maybe think about if you're going to move some money into crypto, maybe those are some of the options for you. So Trump, George, he just keeps making money. Incredible. All of a sudden now his fortune has grown to $6.8 billion. And it seems like it's tied to crypto more and more each day. We've been tracking the family's evolving fortune. Now, this goes off the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. I'm not sure, it's not even higher. But while the overall net worth has stayed remarkably flat year over year, offset by a roughly 66% plunge in Trump Media and Technology Group. But look, crypto projects added about $1.4 billion to the family's worth. So it doesn't matter if the True Social stock went down. Also, don't forget True Social just bought into that hydrogen fuel company, which I believe they're going to be using it to power crypto mining. So that's going to be a given money maker for the Trump Media and Technology Group. So that's what they're doing. I don't see them spending too much time on True Social, George. Nowadays, I've seen very few improvements or upgrades to the True Social platform. Or maybe I just don't see them. True Social improvements and upgrades.
Oh, it's still... I know, right?
Exactly.
Like, who knows what they're going to do? But, that's all right, because Eric Trump's Bitcoin mining powerhouse, American Bitcoin Corp, he serves as a chief strategy officer and co-founder alongside Donald Trump Jr., and they just partnered with Canadian mining giant Hut 8 Corp. Now, guess what? They're going to launch American Bitcoin shortly after the 2025 inauguration, they said. They did, right? The company spun out to focus on large-scale Bitcoin mining, and they got a huge Bitcoin mining place in Texas. Huge. And now what was the thing they just acquired? The
Hydrogen fuel company.
Hydrogen fuel company. Imagine if they get how they're going to power that Bitcoin. If they could save money using the hydrogen fuel.
Well, the story goes that right now that project owns almost 6,000 Bitcoin. I heard it's 5,800 some odd. They reported 5,700 and some odd about a month ago, and now I'm being told that they've mined quite a bit more. But of course, their cost per Bitcoin is anywhere from 35 to 37,000 a Bitcoin. Even at current prices, it's a hell of a deal if you're mining that effectively. Now, imagine if they can just knock their power costs down to nearly nothing. I can't imagine what that efficiency would do. No, they really aren't making clear what their hash rate is. Nobody really knows, but of course, Eric Trump's 7.4% stock in the company is now worth about $1 billion. Now, I don't know about at the 80,000 per Bitcoin, but nearly $1 billion, even if it's 800 or 900 million, he's gone way, way up in what he's worth. And of course, his own father's gone way up. So the question is, where's it going to go long term?
You know what? I think it's just endless possibilities for them because they're on this crypto run. They're smart. I mean, I'm curious to see what they're going to do next. Actually, you know what? I'm surprised their wealth didn't go up higher than 6.8 billion. Between all the acquisitions they did, the money they made with TMG Corp and everything.
I think the market is reacting slower than you would expect. Of course, the markets really aren't helpful when it comes to Donald Trump. They've never really gone over the top for him. They'll put up a lot of negative press, but I think they're underestimating the value of that hydrogen fuel company. Because not only would they potentially use it for the Bitcoin mining that they control, how about all the other Bitcoin miners around the globe that are always struggling to, be attached to a grid, supply their own power? And then let's not forget AI computing, right? Quantum computing. Quantum computing is going to need that hydrogen fuel as much as anybody else because our grid is already under stress at its current needs. What happens when these massive quantum computers come online? So I think that people aren't giving a real value to actual workable hydrogen fuel.
You have to even look at quantum computing. What about the big AI centers they're building? They're going to need. Trump said anybody doing all this, they can't take energy off the grid. They got to build their own energy. And what better place than infusing
And doesn't that mean he has a massive potential client base for that company?
Yeah.
Assuming that it works and assuming that it's legitimate, his client base is almost unlimited. Who around the globe wouldn't like to have access to clean hydrogen fuel?
Well, they said they have it for cars, right? Have you ever seen some of the cars and stuff?
I have seen it. I actually think hydrogen fuel is the more likely potential long-term use for vehicles because EVs are somewhat dangerous. I've been hearing already some bad stories coming out of some of the medical industry where they're saying that people sitting on top of those battery packs all day are showing early signs of colon and anal cancer. So pretty serious stuff that you're sitting on top of those battery packs all day and being irradiated. So do I see that hydrogen fuel could be the potential real answer for getting away from fossil fuels? Absolutely. I think it's definitely. Now, again, I'm not one of those fossil fuel fear people. I don't buy into all that. But at the end of the day, I'm still driving gas and I'm going to drive gas until I think something comes up that it's effectively easier and better that I trust. I'm not a believer in electric cars here at this time. So that's just me.
Don't be a nitty gritty.
All right. If you love the show, thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notifications button so you know when we're going live. 7 a.m. on Wednesdays, 7 a.m.s on Fridays. Of course, you can also catch our regular show, The Big Mig Show, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, one of the fastest growing shows on Rumble. We appreciate the support. And then don't forget to find Solum.global. Go check out what they have going on there in Davos this week, making some big moves. And of course, you can find them on social media at X under Solum Global. Of course, the Crypto Power Hour, G. Valentine, Lance Miliaccio, and the Big Mig Show, 5 different accounts. You can follow us there. Let us know if you're here over in the show and you followed us here. We'll give you a follow back. You just need to let us know you've done it. And of course, you can find us on Getter, and True Social, also Solum Global and the Crypto Power Hour. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. In crypto we trust, baby. George, last words.
See you guys at 11. Be there.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these K9 units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.